have an random video. It's right here with the Doctor Who Season 16/2 review. I think this season was a little bit more coherent to a point than Season 15/1, Ncuti Gatwa's first season. This being Ncuti Gatwa's second season. There are fun episodes in there. I think Verda Sethu, who plays Belinda Chandra, does a wonderful job in the role of the new companion. I think the little bit we get to still see of Ruby Sunday, Millie Gibson, is fun, but it doesn't pay off in the end. There's a lot of problems I have with the finale. I won't go into all of them because I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. Should you watch it if you've seen Season 1 of Ncuti Gatwa's 10 Years as a Doctor, then yes, if you are a Doctor Who fan, you've probably already seen it. I get that very much. The special effects were on point. There were certain episodes I liked. Like I liked the 1950s cartoon episode. I liked the live, like, American Idol type episode. I did like the one that Ruby was by herself in, because that played out in the end. Even though we didn't get a full playthrough of what exactly happened, it did play out in the end as something that was important and something that was necessary. The big reveal baddies at the end in the finale, were a waste. Witch World by itself, which was the penultimate episode of the season, the setup to the finale was a popcorn fart, to put it politely. There were plenty of red herrings in the episode, in the season, that don't pay off. You see Susan a lot. For those that know who Susan is, you know who Susan is. But you see Susan a lot. And if you don't know who Susan is, type into Google Susan Doctor Who, and you'll find out who Susan is. You see Susan a lot, like foreshadowed a lot, a glimpse a lot, that kind of a thing. You see that a lot. Doesn't matter. Does not matter, because Susan is... There's no payoff to Susan. There's no payoff to any of the big baddies, and there's multiple. There's no payoff to any of the big baddies. And the shock value end, it did honestly leave me saying what, like David Tennant before the Voyage of the Damned. For a callback for those who know, you know. But it didn't leave me saying what in a good way, in a funny way. It kind of left me saying what the fuck. Because the ending was to use a term that I hesitate to use, but is the proper term for this. It was self-aggrandizement. It was self-ejaculation by RTD and the staff, because they got to see one of their old friends and yada yada yada. Had one of their old friends who shows up at the end. I'm not going to spoil it here, but you can certainly find out who it is. If one of their old friends had not been littered through the Doctor Who canon in the last 20 years, sporadically and not so sporadically at the same time, if they weren't already littered with it, then I'd be like, oh, that's awesome, that's great, it's kind of Peter Capaldi-esque. But instead it's like, we've done this, we've seen this, we've played this tune, and we're playing a tired, same old tune. And with the show not knowing its future, BBC and Disney have not announced whether there's going to be a season 3 or not to this point, and it being Saturday was the finale, today it's Tuesday, so it's 72 hours after the finale. We don't know. I assume that Doctor Who is on hiatus until further notice. We are getting the War Between the Land and the Sea later this year. I will watch that. I will review that. That is a Doctor Who universe story. But it will not have the Doctor. How could it? It is... How do I put this? It is... Season 2 had its bright spots, it had its fun spots, and it had me wanting more of Ncuti Gatwa. And by the end of Season 2, I'm ready for a new showrunner who actually knows Doctor Who and knows how to tell a compelling story and not just a self-aggrandizement story. That does not mean I don't have a lot of respect for Russell T Davies. I do. He's the man that brought Doctor Who back and started this revival in 2004/5. But when he came back, it's been popcorn fart after popcorn fart after popcorn fart, and him just self-aggrandizing the entire time. I think that Ncuti Gatwa did the best job he possibly could as a Doctor with the scripts he was given. I think the scripts he was given weren't on any way the level of a Christopher Eccleston level, or a Peter Capaldi, or a Matt Smith, or a David Tennant run one way. I just think that it's time to get a fresh perspective. We know we're not getting Doctor Who in 2026 because they have to fill a major hole. They have to film, which for the moment isn't even happening because we don't even know if it's greenlit, so we probably won't get Doctor Who again at the earliest until 2027. Which, I'll be honest, is fine with me. Now, how many popcorns do I give Season 2 of Doctor Who? Ncuti Gatwa was as best as he could be. Millie Gibson was very good. The lady that played Gemma, I forget her last name. She plays Kate Lethbridge Stewart. She did a wonderful job. The callbacks to earlier episodes in the Gatwa timeline, in the 15th Doctor timeline, was good. The cameos we saw this season were good. But the stories were lackluster. The ending was a popcorn fart. They called back on classic Doctor Who Nemesis, and they just failed on the uptake. They failed all over it. They didn't pay off what they needed to pay off. We don't even know. We're probably not even getting a Christmas special this year. if we are, they would have to start filming it soon. And they have certain things that they have to do before that. So for me, season 2 of Doctor Who is a mediocre 5 popcorns out of 10. The ending really soured me on it. The fact that they showed Susan, for those that know who Susan is, and didn't pay Susan off, and they kept showing Susan, and kept showing Susan, and kept showing Susan through the last 3 or 4 episodes of the season. And then it was nothing. Absolutely nothing. The ending to the finale felt tacked on because of the pivots and the turns that they had to make. It was tacked on, but it felt tacked on. Something that is tacked on should try its best never to feel tacked on. If that's the best way, and that's the best way I can put it. It should never feel tacked on. It should never feel like it's made out of necessity. And so much of this season, so much of the ending did. And a lot of times, when the first few episodes are decent, the first few episodes are good, and then the last 3 are just, then you ruin the goodwill that you build up to. They made May 24th a major thing in the season, and it was just, it was like a random day that they could have picked, I don't know, July 17th or August 4th. It wouldn't have mattered, because they didn't give it the gravitas, they didn't give it the weight. He's forgotten, or maybe he's just so lost himself that he's forgotten to, and that's the sound is my sound for like self-aggrandizement, self-ejaculation, if you will. And that's what this was. Like I told you, this is my opinion. It's art. That's why I say here on this channel, it's brutally honest reviews, and I'm being brutally honest. I wanted to love this. I love the character of the Doctor. I have many years of history with loving of this show. My first Doctor I ever saw was Tom Baker, back on the PBS at midnight on a Sunday, and getting to see all 6 episodes and staying up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to watch an entire serial, and then going to school on a Monday with your ass dragging. Like, that's what I remember. That's how much I love this character. I love the character of the Doctor. I want more adventures with the Doctor, but it has to be with somebody who absolutely knows what they're doing and knows how to tell sci-fi stories. And to be quite frank, Russell T Davies has lost the plot. He has lost the fact that the Doctor is a science fiction show. It's not meant to push an agenda. Now, I will be the first one to say that science fiction shows have always been progressive. They've always pushed the boundary. They've always been more accepting. That is fine when you weave it into the story. A lot of times in both Season 1 and Season 2 of Ncuti Gatwa's era, it was ham-fisted in, it was front and center, and they beat you heavy-handedly with a club over the head and said, see what we're doing, see what we're doing. It's like, I don't need to see what we're doing. I'm trying to get lost in the story. I'm trying to feel. Ncuti Gatwa is the only Doctor to this date to not face the Cybermen, not face the Daleks, not do a lot of the things that his predecessors, including Jodie Whittaker, have done. If you want to see me do a review, a spoilerific video, hell, I might just do one myself later on this week, and maybe I might post it next week, because I just have so much more to say, but I want to leave it as spoiler free as possible so that you yourself can go watch it if you haven't already, and you yourself can make your own determination and distinction. I will say this: it's 5 popcorns out of 10. It's mediocre, and it's lucky to get 5 popcorns out of 10 from me. It is very lucky to get 5 popcorns out of 10 from me, because it is not the show that has 62 years of history. It is not the show anymore that knows how to tell a true progressive, a true pushing forward narrative in the way science fiction is supposed to be told. So with that said, leave in the comments down below if you watch season 2 of Doctor Who, season 16 for those of us that know, of New Who, and what you think of the Ncuti Gatwa era. Until next time, you know I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Please ding the notification bell to be notified when I upload a video. And without further ado, happy watching. I'll see you again soon. And peace.